Hi, boys and girls. Today, we are going to look at some different types of graphs and how you can use these graphs to solve questions asked of you using equations, using the information that the graphs provide to you. There'll be some bar graphs, there'll be some line graphs, there'll be pictographs, and there'll be line plots. So, you'll need paper and pencil as you solve these problems. Once you have paper and pencil, start your video again and work on solving the first problem. Then start your video again and check your answers. So let's look at the graph of favorite colors. On the left axis, you have number of students ranging from 0 to 6. On the bottom axis, you have green, yellow, red, orange, blue, and purple. Answer the questions. Make sure you show equations of how you solved each question. So make sure you write out your problem as to how you solved the question. How many people liked green and purple? How many more liked blue than yellow? How many fewer liked orange than red? Pause the video, answer your questions, and then start the video again and check your answers as you watch our solutions. So, here is the video that we're looking at. Now, how many people liked green and purple? Well, to solve this problem, you need to look at green. 4 people liked green. You look at purple, you go across, 3 people liked purple. So, how many liked both? And tells you you're going to add. So, you should have said 4 plus 3, or you could have said 3 plus 4, either way, equals, add it together, and the answer is 7. So, your answer for how many people liked green and purple should have been 7. How many more liked blue than yellow? Well, you look at blue, go up and across, 5 liked blue. Here's yellow, go up and across, 2 liked yellow. So, the words how many more tell us we're going to subtract. So we start with our largest number. Our largest number was blue, which was 5. We're going to subtract. And then yellow was 2. Then we solve for the answer. 5 minus 2 equals 3. So 3 more people liked blue than yellow. In our next question, how many fewer liked orange than red? Okay, this is another subtraction problem. It's just worded a little differently. The key words, how many fewer, tell us we're going to subtract. So we look at orange, 1 liked orange. We look at red, 3 liked red. Put our largest number first, 3 minus 1 equals, and solve for it. 3 take away 1 equals 2. So there were 2 fewer who liked orange than red. How'd you do? Let's keep going. All right, this graph says favorite pets. You have numbers 1 to 10 on the left, and then across the bottom you have the types of pets: hamster, dog, fish, cat, bird. Okay, pause the video, answer the questions. Be sure that you show how you did your work. Write an equation to help you solve the question. Question number 1, how many people liked fish, bird, and hamsters? Question number 2, how many fewer people liked birds than cats? Question number 3, how many more people liked dogs than hamsters? Pause your video. Solve your problems, then start your video again, and let's look at how we solved and got the answers. All right. How many people liked fish, bird, and hamsters? So, we're going to look at fish. There were 2 people. And we want to know how many in all, so we know we're going to add birds. There were 3 people, plus hamsters, which was 5 people. Now we're going to add all 3 numbers together. 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 5 plus 5 equals 10. So the correct answer was 10. Now let's look at the next one. How many fewer people liked birds than cats? How many fewer? Remember, those are key words that tell us we're going to subtract. So birds go up and across, there were 8. Cats, I'm sorry, I did that backwards. Cats up and across were 8. Birds up and across were 3. So 8 is the larger number. We're subtracting. 3 equals, and 8 take away 3 equals 5. 5 fewer people liked birds than cats. How many more people liked dogs than hamsters? Remember, how many more are keywords to tell us that we are subtracting. So, dogs, there are 10 people. Hamsters, there are 5 people. Put your largest number first, which is 10. We're going to subtract. There were 5 people. 10 take away 5 equals 5. So, how'd you do? Let's keep going to the next slide. Favorite cartoons. We have SpongeBob, Ben 10, Avengers, and Avatar. Across the bottom, we have numbers 0 to 10. All right, Avatar, we would look at each one of those cartoons, read across, and look at the numbers at the bottom. Now, answer your questions. Remember, show your equations of how you solved the question. How many people liked Ben 10? How many fewer people liked Avatar than Avengers? How many people liked SpongeBob, Ben 10, and Avengers? Pause your video, solve your problems, and then start your video again to check your answers. All right, let's look at this. How many people like Ben 10? Well, we can go up here and look, and it starts at 0 and it goes across, but wait a minute, there's no number there. So, we know that the first number we see is a 2. So, we are going to put a 2. Okay, we're going to put a 2 there. Now, we're going to add, because we're going higher, there's a number that falls between 2 and 4. So, what number falls between 2 and 4? Well, 1 does. So we could simply say that 3 would be our answer. We know we have 2. We have to add 1 to it to equal 3. And that way we've shown an equation to how we solved our problem. How many fewer people liked Avatar than Avengers? Well, we look at Avatar. It falls between 0 and 2. So we know that number has to be 1. We look at Avengers. We go all the way across, look down, we have 8. How many fewer tells us we're going to subtract. So start with the largest number, which is 8. Take away. And then we needed to know about Avatar was 1 equals 8 take away 1 equals 7. So there were 7 people. When we say how many fewer, 8 minus 1 equals 7. How many people like SpongeBob, Ben 10, and Avengers? Well, SpongeBob, we go across, come down, there were 4 people. We're looking at in all, so we're going to add. Then we look at Ben 10, go across, falls between 2 and 4, so that is 3, plus, and then Avengers, start here, go across, 8. Now we're going to add those numbers together. 4 plus 3 is 7, and 7 plus 8 would be 15. So, how many in all liked these? It would be 15. Continuing on, favorite snack. On the left, you have the numbers 1 to 10. Across the bottom, you have chips, crackers, cookies, fruit, and yogurt. Now, let's look at our questions. How many less people, less is another word for fewer, liked crackers than yogurt? How many people liked fruit, chips, and cookies? How many more people liked cookies than chips? So pause the video, solve for your answer, and then start the video again. Check your answers. Okay, to solve this, you should have looked at how many like crackers. We go up, over, 2 people like crackers. Yogurt, we go up and over, 8 people like yogurt. So we are going to put our largest number first, 8. How many less than? We're going to subtract. Crackers, there were 2, equals, and 8 take away 2 equals 6. How many people liked fruit, chips, and cookies? Well, we look at fruit, go up and over. There were 7. We're adding them all together because we all know how many in all. Chips, we're going to go up and over. There are 6. Then we're looking at cookies. We're going to go up, and it goes all the way to the top. There were 10. Then we're going to add these numbers together. 7 plus 6 is 13, and 13 plus 10 equals 23. How many more people like cookies than chips? So we're going to look at cookies. How many more than tells us subtract. So we know 10 is the largest number. And then chips, we go up and over, 6. 10 take away 6 equals 4. So the answer is 4. All right, let's look at this graph. Favorite subject. We have math, science, reading, and writing. If you notice, there's no numbers here. They've colored in squares, and each square equals 1. So use this graph to answer these questions. Make sure you give us equations. How many people liked math, science, and reading? How many more people liked science than reading? And how many less people liked writing than science? Pause the video, solve your problems, start your video again, and let's look at our solutions. So, how many people liked math, reading, science, and reading? Well, we know if we look at math, we count across 1, 2, 3 blocks. So 3 people liked math. We're looking at all together, so we're adding. Now we're looking for science. We go across in science. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then our last subject was reading. 1, 2, 3, 4 people liked reading. Now we're going to add these numbers together. 3 plus 6 is 9, and 9 plus 4 equals 13. Okay, this question was how many more people like science than reading? How many more, remember, is subtraction. So, science, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then reading, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we take our largest number, 6. How many more then? Subtract. And then reading was 4. 6 take away 4 equals 2. So 2 more people liked reading than science. Now, how many less is kind of like how many fewer liked writing than science. Writing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Science, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, our equation would be 6 minus 5 equals 1. Now, we made our equations, but let me show you. You can use just the graph itself to help you answer these questions if you're not required to look for an equation. For example, if you wanted to know how many less people liked writing than science, well, you would look at this. Writing ends here. Science ends here. If you go down, there is only one block more that is not colored in. So, see, the answer was 1. So if you're not required to write an equation, you can just use your eyes and look at that chart and come up with your answer. All right, now we have a tally chart. Favorite ocean animal, crab, and we have some tally marks. Shark, dolphin, turtle, whale. Answer the questions. Be sure to show an equation to solve each question. How many more people like dolphins than whales? How many less people like turtles than sharks? And how many people like sharks, dolphins, and whales? Pause your video, solve these answers, start your video again, and check your answers. All right, how many more people like dolphins than whales? Well, we're going to look, we know we're subtracting. If we look at our tally charts, we can tell dolphins have more, so we're going to put that number first. Remember, our tally marks are 4, and if we have a diagonal, that is a group of 5. So you can automatically count this as a 5. So we have 5, 10, 11. And then we're going to look at whales. Here's our group, 5, 6, 7. Now, 11 take away 7 equals 4. So the correct answer is 4. How many less people like turtles than sharks? How many less than is another subtraction. So we look at turtles, we look at sharks. Sharks is the larger number, so let's look at it first. 5, 6, 7, 8. Take away, and then we're going to look at turtles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 take away 4 equals 4. So there were 4 less people who liked turtles than sharks. How many people like sharks, dolphins, and whales? Well, we're going to add all 3 of these numbers together. So let's look at sharks. 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus dolphins. 5, 10, 11. And then whales. 5, 6, 7. 11 plus 8 is 19. 19 plus 7 is 26. So there were 26 people who liked sharks, dolphins, and whales. Animals on Hackberry Farm. We have number of animals, 0 to 18, and types of animals, cows, pigs, chickens, and goats. Answer these questions and show an equation. How many fewer people like pigs than chickens? Solve your equation. How many people like pigs and goats? And how many more people like cows than goats? Pause your video, solve your equation, start your video again to check your answers. All right, let's look at this. How many fewer people? That's subtraction. Pigs and chickens. Well, pigs, if we look across, it's at 8, but it's not quite to 10. So what number falls between 8 and 10 when you're counting? 8, 9, 10. So there were 9 pigs. Chickens, if we look, we're between 16 and 18. When we count, 17 is between 16 and 18. So 17 is our larger number. Take away. And then pigs was 9. And then 17, take away 9 equals 8. So 8 fewer people like pigs than chickens. How many like pigs and goats? We know we're adding, so we don't have to put our numbers in any particular order. So we look at pigs. Well, we know from the previous question there are 9 pigs. We're adding. And then goats, there are 6 goats. So 9 plus 6 equals 15. How many more people like cows than goats? How many more than? Subtraction. Cows is 14, goats 6. So 14 is the larger number, minus 6 equals. So 14 take away 6 equals 8. All right, here's your next set of problems. Animals at Seaview Aquarium: seahorse, jellyfish, octopus, starfish. Number of animals. Look across the bottom. We only have 3 numbers listed on our guide, 0, 20, and 40. So you need to look at these and figure out what each of these marks is going to mean. How many people like starfish? How many more people like starfish than jellyfish? And how many people like octopus and jellyfish? Pause the video, solve your problems, start your video again, and let's check your answers. All right, here are your answers. How many people like starfish? Well, if we looked at starfish, and we look, this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So each line equals 5. So we know 5. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 times 7 equals 35, or 35 people like starfish. How many more people like starfish than jellyfish? We're going to subtract. Well, we know starfish is 35. Jellyfish, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oop, that's seahorse, sorry. Jellyfish, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 35 minus 25 equals 10. So 10 more people like starfish than jellyfish. How many people like octopus and jellyfish? Well, octopus, 20. Jellyfish we know is 25. Then 25 take away 20 equals 5. All right, looking at the clothing drive. We have 0 to 60 on the side, shirts, pants, shorts, and hats on type of clothing. How many hats were collected? How many less people like shorts than shirts? And how many people donated pants and hats? Pause your video, solve your problems, then start your video again and let's look at the answers. All right, how many hats were collected? Well, we're looking at hats. If we look here, we notice that each line equals 10. So we have 1, 2, 3 lines times 10 equals 30. So 30 hats were collected. How many less people like shorts than shirts? All right, shirts, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. There were 50. I'm sorry. Shirts, yes, there were 50. How many more than a subtraction? And then we look at shorts, 10. 50 take away 10 equals 40. How many people donated pants and hats? So we look at pants, there were 40. That and tells us we're adding. Look at hats, 10, 20, 30. 40 plus 30 equals 70. All right, here we have a picture graph. Favorite type of cookie? Chocolate chip, sugar, oatmeal, and ginger snap. And each cookie equals 2 people. How many people liked sugar cookies? How many people liked oatmeal and ginger snaps? How many people participated in the entire graph? Pause the video, answer your questions, and start the video again. All right, how many people liked sugar cookies? Well, if you look, we have 1 whole cookie and a half of a cookie. So 1 whole cookie is 2. And then half of that 2 would be 1, since we only have a half a cookie there, equals 3. So 2 plus 1 equals 3. How many people like oatmeal and ginger snaps? Well, let's look. We have 1, 2, 3 cookies. So 2, and we're adding, plus 2, plus 2, plus, and then we have a half a cookie, which would be 1. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. And 6 plus 1 is 7. How many people participate in this graph? Well, if we count by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 by 2s, plus, and then we know these are 1, 1, 2, plus 2 equals 16. So 14 plus 2 equals 16. All right. Favorite games of 3rd graders: checkers, chess, cards, and dominoes. Number of students goes from 0 to 36. How many people like card games the best? How many people like chess and checkers? How many fewer people liked chess than cards? So, pause the video, use equations to solve your problem, start your video again. All right. How many like card games the best? Well, we're going to look at cards. 0. Well, the line goes all the way up to 32. So we're going to put 32 there if they want an equation. And between 32 and 36, there are 4 marks. And that's about halfway. So half of 2 would be 2. So 32 plus 2 equals 34. How many people like chess and checkers? Look at chess. There were 16. And tells us we're adding. Look at checkers. 28, and it's halfway. 29, 30. So 16 plus 30 equals 46. How many fewer people like chess than cards? So look at chess, we have 16. Look at cards, we have 34. Larger number goes first. 32 minus, or take away, 16 equals. All right, we can't take 4 from 6, so we're going to borrow. Make that a 14, and it's an 8. Borrow 1 from the 3, that becomes a 2. 2 take away 1 is 1. So 34 minus 16 equals 18. All right, here's another picture graph. Let's look at those picture graphs. Cat, dog, fish, bird, and each smile equals 2 people. How many people like cats the best? How many more like dogs than fish? How many people like birds, cats, and dogs? Pause your video, solve your problems, start your video again, and we'll check your answer. All right, let's look at cats. There are 3 full smiles, and we know that each of those smiles is 2. So 2, 4, 6. So we would put 6 down, but we're not done. We've got to add another half of a face. That half of the face, we know half of 2 is 1. 6 plus 1 equals 7. How many more people like dogs than fish? Well, dogs is the larger number, so let's look. 2, 4, 6, 8. We're going to subtract. Fish, 2, 4. 8 take away 4 is equal to 4. How many people like birds, cats, and dogs? Well, look at birds. Oh, well, there's a half. We know that the half equals 1. We're adding. Cats, there are 3 smile faces, so 2, 4, 6. Half of another smile face is 7. We're adding our last number, which is dogs. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now, 1 plus 7 is 8, and 8 plus 8 equals 16. Okay, jam orders. Number of jars, it goes all the way from 0 to 180. Strawberry, grape, cherry, and raspberry. How many people ordered strawberry jam? How many more ordered grape than raspberry? How many people ordered cherry and grape? Pause your video. Start again to check your answer. All right, how many ordered strawberry? We go up, between 140 and 160. Well, we look, 60 minus 40 is 20, so the space in between is 20, so half of that would be 10. So 140 plus 10 equals 150. How many more ordered grape than raspberry? Well, grape is the larger number, so let's look at it first. There are 80. How many more than a subtraction? Raspberry is halfway between 20 and 40, so that would be 30. 80 minus 30 equals 50. How many people ordered cherry and grapes? And we know we're adding. Cherry was 180. We're adding grape to it. Grape was 80. We add those two numbers together. 0 and 0 is 0. 8 plus 8 is 16. We have to put the 6 and carry the 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So 260 is how many people ordered cherry and grape. All right, number of siblings. Now, let's look at this. We have a line plot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goes across the bottom. But you notice there's nothing on the side because the data that we're looking at are the numbers. So, how many had 2 siblings? How many have how many more have 1 sibling than 3? How many people participate in the graph? Remember, each of these X's on the graph equals 1 sibling. Pause the video, solve your problem, and start your video again to check your answers. So, how many had 2 siblings? If we look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 boxes above the number 2. So we know that there were 5 that had 2 siblings. How many more have 1 sibling than 3? Well, look at 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we type in 6 minus, and we look at 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So 6 take away 4 equals 2. How many people participated in the graph in all? Well, over 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 over 3. Then we have 1 over 4. There's none on 5. There's 1 on 6. There's none on 7. So we add these numbers together. 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 plus 4 is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. And 16 plus 1 is 17. Look, now we have a pie chart or a circle graph. Favorite holidays, we have July 4th, Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. Now, you don't have to write out equations because we don't have numbers on this, but you do use the sections of the pie chart to answer your questions. So which holiday was the most popular, did more like Christmas or July 4th, and did less like Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day? Pause your video, solve for your answers, and then start your video again. All right, here are our solutions. Which holiday was the most popular? Halloween has the largest section of the pie chart or the circle graph. Did more people like Christmas or July 4th? Well, look at the size of the section for Christmas. Look at the size of the section for July 4th, and it is clearly evident that the size for Christmas is much larger. Did less like Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day? Be careful with your wording. Less means the least, the smallest. So look at Valentine's Day. Look at St. Patrick's Day. Well, the smaller piece would be St. Patrick's Day. All right, here is our last one. It's another line graph or line plot. Minutes of reading, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Use this line graph to answer these questions at the bottom. Pause your video, solve, and then start your video again for the answers. All right, let's look at this. How many people read 15 minutes? Look at 15, count above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people read 15 minutes. How many read 20 and 30 in all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to add. And then 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 plus 6 equals 11. And your last question, how many people participated in this graph? Well, you're simply going to count your X's and add them together. 1 plus 3 plus 6 over 15, 5 over 20, 2 over 25, and 6 over 30. So 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 6 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, 15 plus 2 is 17, and 17 plus 6 is 23. So the correct answer is 23. So as you can see, we use lots of different types of graphs today to solve problems, and you'll see these a lot of times in math. And now at least you've worked a little bit with the different types of graphs that you might come across. Hope you have a great day.